First, there was Twitter, now Meta, social media platforms testing out subscription models to boost revenue. Meta announcing this weekend that it's copying, if you will, Elon Musk's Twitter Blue with a new service called Meta Verified. It costs users $11.99 a month for web, but the dollar figure you're concentrating on is $14.99 a month for iOS and Android for a verified badge. That's $15 a month on your iPhone. The perks are pretty similar to Twitter. You get a verified badge, protection from impersonation, increased visibility, and exclusive features. They say, like access to customer service. As one who is verified on Instagram, I can tell you there is no access whatsoever to customer service on Instagram. So it really comes down to that word visibility. Do you get a massive boost in visibility, Shauna? Because I don't think those content creators are overly concerned, or at least willing to part with $15 a month for added security. In other words, worried about someone else parroting your name and starting their own account. It all comes down to visibility. That's in terms of the user. The investor story, that's a whole other question.
Yeah.
Are they going to get more people on the platform here? Is it going to increase overall revenue? I think it makes more sense for Twitter because they already had the traffic. They already had the numbers. They wanted to get more revenue out of them, whereas my sense is Meta wants more people on the platform.
Yeah, exactly. And I think because of that, because we're having kind of a tough time just wrapping our heads around the exact impact that this could potentially have on Meta, we're seeing that also reflected in the street's reaction to this. On the one hand, you have CFRA, who actually has a hold on the stock, saying that this was a no-brainer as the social media-based firms dependent on ad space need to be a little bit more creative, need to come up with new ways there in order to diversify their revenue amid the challenging backdrop for the industry. On the other hand, Bank of America isn't necessarily as sold just in terms of what this could potentially produce here for Meta. And the big reason or the big issue that they potentially have is just the audience size, kind of similar to what you were saying, Dave, just that it could be limited by the number of creators and influencers on Meta's platform. I think the takeaway, though, is Meta is trying to be creative. They're trying to do something new. They're trying to generate a new avenue here in terms of revenue. I think it does make sense. Will it have as big of an impact maybe that Twitter could potentially see from theirs? Probably not, just given the fact I don't know how much appetite there's going to be, at least for now, from what they're offering, for what we know for this new service.
I think that price target is a little too high. I think for the ordinary average user, this is obviously going to be focused on content creators and influencers, because I think for the most of us would not pay $15 a month. I thought that number would come in, honestly, about half of that, somewhere between $7 and $10 a month to really get those numbers up. It comes at a weird time as they're just starting to get some traction on Reels. You can't help but wonder if this is at a strange time. If you're wondering, you have to be 18 years old.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, you can't buy it if you're 16 and 17. And those might be the people who would pay for verification.
Yeah.
And you are grandfathered in if you are already verified. They're not going to pull your verification. I'm sure you were concerned about that.
I was very concerned. Very concerned. So our
verification.
influencer reputations, everything remains intact.
Secure.